Hi to all my friends. Todd Meena here in Grand Cypress. Just coming at you in the beautiful month of March in sunny Florida. And just wanted to keep in touch and shoot you out just a little video clip of some instructional thoughts to keep you in good order during the winter months, give you some drills to work on at this time. And what I found is also a lot of the good changes you can make to your golf swings are done via drills that you can do at home in your spare time and not beat yourself up and still improve your technique greatly. So I'm going to cover a couple of fundamental things that are involved in the swing that I think are very, very important, that I think can help you, some of which you've heard before on previous visits, but some of which maybe not, maybe are in a different form. But maybe just to simplify some things to help you with your game. So I'll go right into it. As you know, at some point in the golf swing, regardless of your swing, it's paramount that you return body and club to a proper impact position. That is the one thing that you see good players typically always share in common is their impact position. Regardless of whether their signature backswing is a Jim Furyk or a Tiger Woods or anything in between, or just like your signature backswing, where you are at impact is really the bottom line. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to get my teaching shaft here. As I set up to hit this golf ball, I'm going to position this shaft 4 inches forward of my left heel and 4 inches directly back behind me. So 4 and 4. As I pin it into the ground, I've got about a fist distance between my left hip and the shaft. When I strike this ball, I want to have my hip on that shaft. And it's important to aim your hips in this fashion because what they do is they move the hands forward to give you a divot that's forward of the golf ball. A lot of us, we make our backswing and we hit at the ball, and this part of our body isn't close to where it should be, and we can't really control where the club hits the ground very well when we're doing that. So it's imperative to learn with your body, give your body a sense of where it needs to be at the moment the club strikes the ball. You really don't even need to swing to do this. This is something you can do in the office, at the house. You don't frankly even need a club to be able to take your hands and move them forward by virtue of your hips doing a combination of a shift and turn into the shaft. It's important to note that when you see good players hit a golf shot, typically their hands are in front of the golf ball, which enables the divot to be on this side of the golf ball, but they're not jamming their hands forward. What they're doing is letting their hips move their hands in this fashion. So a good impact position basically has the hips hunt down this particular spot that you can practice to get versed in and what that feels like, and train your body to do that. Your hips hit that shaft, forward 4, backward 4, or 3. You can kind of wean yourself into it. Anything's better than none and none. So 4 and 4, that moves the hands in front, all the while the chin stays centered slightly behind the golf ball in this fashion. So here's your impact position. Just like that. So I'm practicing keeping my chin slightly back of the ball, moving my hands forward by moving my core or my hips to that particular spot. Now we have to have a backswing that gives us some dynamic and some momentum to apply to that impact position. And there are 2 principal things involved in getting the club into the backswing position. One is the hammer-like hinging of the wrist. I have this club in my left hand and I just hinge it up and down in this fashion like this. You can see that I am moving the club very easily without really moving anything else but my wrists. So I'm just hinging the club up and down, not moving anything else. If only it were that easy. You could hit the same spot every time. Okay. But there has to be a pivot that with the hips that moves the club to the side. And it is a pivot. It's a pivot mostly dictated by the left knee. As a right-handed golfer, the left knee and the right hip. So the left knee and the right hip start the movement of the club. It's important to note that the club doesn't want to start with the arms or the hands, but it's the pivot of the left knee and right hip moves the club away to about right here. And by about this point, it's done. You're done with your pivot about right here, because a lot of us will over pivot where the right leg will straighten up in this fashion here. We don't want that. We certainly don't want any lateral movement where we get our weight outside our feet. So our weight stays on the inside of the feet, right in here. Pivot, left knee, right hip, moves the club away, and that's where the hinge, hammer-like hinge, takes over and puts the club over the right shoulder. So the pivot and the hinge should be completed by right here. And many of you, unfortunately, don't. You're not in this position. So the timing back to impact is affected because of the timing off the ball. And the better the backswing, pivot and the hinge, the better that is, and the more timely it is, the better your chances of getting back to impact. So the pivot, hinge, puts the club away, and what gets the club all the way back is just the completion of the shoulder turn, which puts the shaft over the right shoulder in this fashion here. All the while, the chin stays fairly centered to the ball. We don't want a lot of movement. I always like to note Jack Nicklaus, who started his swing by cocking his chin to the right and then really didn't move until the strike of the ball. So the pivot hinge puts it back. We then aim our core, hunt down that shaft, get to that shaft, left hip, touching that shaft, strike that ball, and then just momentum releases it all the way to the finish. I hope that helps you, gives you some things to work on. Like I said, there's some things you can do at the house during the winter months. Just take a club and just work on your wrist flexibility. Just take the club and hinge it up and down. Get used to hitting the ground with the club in this fashion. Then work on your pivot. You don't need a club to do that, just work on your pivot. It's done, right there. The club leverage. Now you've got the dynamics for a good swing. Now you got to do is just finish the shoulder turn and put it to impact. It's great to talk to you. Miss y'all. Come down to see us in sunny Florida. I'll follow up with an email just to keep in touch and see how you're doing, and maybe you can share some things with me about your game, and we can talk about some drills that some of these things, these fundamentals that are particular to you and what you need to do, and quantify some of them for your particular needs. God bless, and take care. Hope to talk to you real soon.